What's up YouTube? I'm Trent Wel-Don. Welcome back to the channel Wel-Don Aquatics. Today we are going to review the very popular, very widely known Marineland Penguin power filter, and specifically this is the 350 model. So no, this is a popular brand. I think the Petco and PetSmart carry it. I actually got this on sale through Amazon for $12. I couldn't pass it up for $12. So I say this was, I think normally it's like 30, 35 in that range, so I'll have to double check, but I will leave a link down in the description below for this product. how do I put this? Straight out of the box, I'm not a fan of this filter. I'm typically an AquaClear guy. I like the way AquaClears run. I like the way they're set up with their filtration basket. I think they're done very well. With that though, a lot of the AquaClears, they're pricey. I think for the largest one that's in comparison to this Marineland Penguin 350 is going to be like double the price. So I want to compare. I don't have an AquaClear on hand to compare it to, but I am very curious. I know like Primetime Aquatics really likes this filter. He says he had some running for like over 10 years. So they've have a proven track record, but I think there's ways to improve this, and right out of the box, not a fan of it, but for 12 bucks, I couldn't go wrong, particularly on the 55-gallon tank I have up here in my current small fish room. This is housing every fish. It's gonna go back into the 220-gallon, including the Mabu puffer, so it's very temporary. But we have a lot of biological waste that goes on in this tank. So I wanted to see if this would just help. I figured it couldn't go wrong for 12 bucks. So let's get into this filter and actually give my full opinion on why I think it's just okay, and some, not modifications, but some changes we're gonna make to this. So enough of me talking, let's get into this. And I know people are gonna get mad at me of, it's not on camera, blah, 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 but here we go. All right, so straight out of the box. This is honestly like the first time I've actually ever purchased a Marineland filter. I've gotten a few of them. I've gotten a few of them used just with tanks I've bought. That stinks. Like, wow. God, it's got a really bad plastic smell to it. That's interesting. I mean, the first thing I don't like, this thing is huge. I mean, gargantuan huge. I mean, that's easily, God, takes up like most of the side on one side of the 55-gallon tank there. Now let's put it back here. I mean, that's a monster. It's like 10 inches long. Anyways, take that rubber band off. So here's the thing, like, I don't like a lot of pieces. I don't like that there's two pieces. I know they're there for a reason, but all right, first things first, we're gonna get rid of these. 100% get rid of these bio wheels. I fully believe that these things are garbage. If you want to leave them on here, you can. I know a lot of people like them. The design of it is they sit here in the filter and water flows through. These actually spin. The issue I have with these though is that overall they stop working. These will stop spinning. They're designed to actually like pull out some debris. So maybe I'll try them, I don't know, just because I have them, but the number one recommendation is just throw them away, get rid of them. These are garbage. The only application I think that something like this will work is we're talking like 1,000 times this size. I know that sounds insane. There's a place in California that they actually breed stingrays, and they have one of these. But when we're talking, it's like a 55-gallon drum, and it's pressure washed off. So it does a really good job of pulling all the debris out, that it's pressure washed off. So maybe we'll try these just to give it a full fair comparison. I am a little harsh on this, but the one thing I will say that I do like about this though is that this is gonna move a lot of water, and I do want some water flow in this. Now you have to be careful though. What's the rating on this? Let's look at the box. So the Penguin 350, it says it will do 350 gallons per hour. That's great. And it says the aquarium capacity is up to 75 gallons. That's where I have a problem with, is that we get so caught up in the marketing of this will do 350 gallons per hour. It's good for a 75 gallon tank. Well, what's in that 75 gallon tank? I mean, right now, in the 55 gallon, I've got a Mabu puffer, I've got 4 geophagus, I got a pleco, a red-tailed shark, Bolivian ram, a couple orange fin hill trout, a handful of cories, and I feed a lot of food into this tank. This alone, the way that this comes out of the box, I would not trust to handle this bio load. Now the argument is made. I only have 3 sponge filters in here. So the argument's made is how is 3 sponge filters handling what this can't? It's the surface area. It's the surface area of the sponge filter. And this would be another fun topic is, hang on the back filter versus sponge filter. But I digress. Let's focus on this. Here's why that this would not handle just a 75 gallon straight off the bat is these cartridges that they give, these are 100% we're gonna throw away. These are the biggest scam on the market. These filter cartridges are the biggest freaking scam because they tell you that you need to replace these like every month, or maybe every water change, and then you're gonna go buy more. The main issue is you're pulling this cartridge out, you're actually removing any beneficial bacteria you have and throwing it away and restarting that. I got sucked into this, my very first tank. Don't use these. We're gonna show you what you can use in place of these that are gonna make your aquarium that much easier to maintain, that much cleaner, just all around better. So get rid of these cartridges. Now, along with sponge filters, I do think that this filter is gonna be very beneficial. I purposely wanted to use a power filter to give more flow. Yeah, see already, the card that comes with it, it tells you can put 2 cartridges on either side of this. Don't fall into that. All right, let's take a look here. And then, geez, these are all just pieces. I have scissors up here somewhere. There they are. Now, dropping stuff. This is still my washroom, so it's very, very tight quarters. If I expanded this lens, you'd see everything. Okay, so now we're gonna get into, instructions. That's nice. All right, so on this filter, so this isn't my other issue. I hate putting things together. So this is gonna go here. I mean, it's very simple, right? It's not hard, maybe. There we go. So that top piece will fit in there. Jeez, that's tight. All right, top piece fits in. They do have an extender. So if you want to make this longer, I believe this will extend with this piece here. And if I'm correct, this is going to be the water flow. But let's actually check those instructions as I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Oh, okay. This is a mid-level strainer. These things are ridiculous. This is such a selling point. They tell you this is gonna like skim your water and strain some things out. I'll give it a fair chance, but like this initially, I don't like it. I do not like it. I think it's garbage. I don't think it's gonna run right. I just don't think it's gonna work the way we want it to. Anyways, all right, mid-level strainer is on. So I say I will give this a fair chance. Now that I've talked over every negative, I have one more negative that I don't like, is the actual intake strainer. Now, one of the many ways that you can increase the effectiveness of the hang of a back filter is with an intake sponge. Aquarium Co-op sells these, they're very cheap. This won't fit into this. It just, these drive me nuts. So I'm actually gonna sit here and kind of tear that open and try and shove this down in there. I see in the forums all the time of people saying that like their goldfish or their Cory, something got stuck to the intake of their power filter. And that will, a pre-filter sponge will prevent that. So I don't like that this is such a vastly marketed power filter, but then you can barely fit a sponge on this. So this is a large intake sponge. I did stretch it over, so it stretched over the intake. All right, so we have it. I mean, it's just a big filter. It really is just a big filter. So now that I have completely just destroyed this filter and said everything I don't like about it, let's actually talk what I like about this and why, if you don't want to spend the money on an AquaClear, why I think this will be a decent filter for you to use, particularly to beginners. I'm going to take off some of these tubes. You're going to drive me nuts. All right, let's look at the actual housing. We have 2 slots. There is a lot of room in either slot. There is actually quite a bit of room in here. And what's going to happen is that as water pumps in, it's going to flow over to both sides. So both sides are going to get equal amounts of water that's going to run over whatever filtration you choose to use. And this is where I said get rid of those cartridges. So here's some options that we have. The Coarse Sponge pad. Again, Aquarium Co-op sell these. You can buy these on Amazon. I'll leave links where I purchased them. I did buy it through Aquarium Co-op. This is the secret that big box stores do not want you to know about. This was, I think, $7. I could even be wrong on that, $9. It's cheap, right? Where a box of those pre-inserts, anywhere from like $10 to $20, depending what size you need, where you get them. This you can cut to size. This is reusable. You pull it out, you rinse it out, you put it back in. If you've ever used a sponge filter, think of this as a sponge filter for a hang on the back filter. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of size this up, and literally we're just gonna cut this to potential size that I need. Now 1 sheet may get me, it's gonna get me two pieces of what I need. So cut a side off, I'm gonna cut this down the center. There we go. And we're gonna shove these right down in here. So 1 sheet from Aquarium Co-op. Let's find a way to put that on camera. So on either side here, squish that sponge down in the back. Both sides now are loaded with sponge. If I wanted to, I could load an entire side with sponge. So what I am choosing to do, and one of the main things I have, the needs that I need in my aquarium, is I need more mechanical filtration, not necessarily biological. Sponge is gonna give you fantastic biological, by the way, fantastic biological. So I'm actually gonna load both sides with some coarse sponge. And then if you wanted to, take that scrap piece you cut off, you could cut that again and fill an entire side with sponge. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm using, so this is 1 sheet of that coarse sponge, not an insert, 1 sheet of coarse sponge. I'm gonna load it into one side. Just like that. So that whole side right here is loaded with coarse sponge. It's gonna catch a lot of the bigger material, the debris coming out of your tank. It's gonna give you a lot of beneficial bacteria growing on that. And what you could also do is you could buy the ceramic media and put that in front of the sponge, behind the sponge. So there's so many options you have to load this with your own, we'll say, custom media that's actually gonna do way more than ever those inserts did. Then I'm gonna top this off, and on the other side, I'm gonna add in some polyfill. Now this is something that I'm going to specifically make a video on later. What I'm using is Pinky Filter. I will leave a link in the description below where you can purchase this. It's probably my new favorite polyfill, but I will make a video, a dedicated video to polyfill, what the uses are, why I like it, and kind of compare what you can buy at like Walmart versus this. So again, super simple. I cut it up, 2 sheets. I'm gonna load this in front. So what this is gonna happen here is that the water is going to be forced to run through the sponge and then hit my fine mechanical filtration on the way out. Shove that in there, mash it all in. All right, just like this. So one side is loaded entirely with sponge. The other side, I have that one piece of sponge in the back, and then I've loaded in the front all of this fine polyfill. So this is gonna be an ultimate water polishing filter for my tank. It's gonna give me plenty of biological filtration that I can pull out, squeeze, rinse, get rid of the gunk, put it back in, never have to buy a filter cartridge again. Now, I did say for the sake of it, I'll put these bio wheels on. I'm gonna put them on here just to test how long they last. When do they stop spinning? But anyways, this is what I would do with the Marineland 350 Penguin filter. So we're gonna get it installed on the tank now and actually get it primed and show it running. All right, so this is on my 55. I am gonna have to cut out a new slot on the polycarbonate lids I'm using. Again, everything is just kind of temporary in here. But as you can see though, just look at how much it takes up. So this is a relatively large filter, but I think it's gonna work for what I need. Again, if you remember, I'm using the USB air pumps from Aquarium Co-op to power 3 sponge filters in this tank. So I definitely think this is gonna add a lot more water movement and just hopefully help with some of the clarity in this tank. So you do need to prime this filter. So that's what I'm doing right now. You need to fill this full of water to prime it. And to give you an idea, when water runs over that wheel, that's what it's gonna do. It's supposed to spin. So one thing I'm curious on is how loud this filter actually gets. It looks like you may have to prime both sides individually, which that is the case, and that's very annoying. All right, looks like we're finally getting this thing primed. You don't have to prime both sides individually. I was gonna say, if I had to prime both sides individually, I was gonna lose my mind. All right, let's go ahead and plug this filter in and show you how it actually is in action. So here's the actual filter. So this is interesting. So this is what they're supposed to do here. The water runs over these will spin, and supposedly are gonna catch debris, but I have seen these stop working over time. As far as I know, there's no actual like flow rate on this. There's no flow adjustment, but I do have, so again, I have the intake sponge on. I do have that mid-level strainer open. I want to see if that's going to help, but you can already tell the water movement. I don't know if you can see it. There's all this debris getting kicked up. So again, this is a bare bottom aquarium. It's very temporary, but it's useful, right? So the Mabu puffer, big geos, other fish in here. But I think that the added water movement is actually really gonna help this tank right now. Yeah, this is the very temporary tank, very temporary setup till I get my new fish room built. But this will work. For $12, this will work. So again, this is the Marineland Penguin 350 hang on the back filter. If you need an introductory filter for a 55 gallon, a 75 gallon, and you want something that's going to work, I do recommend this. But I do recommend that you get rid of the filter cartridges, put in your own filtration, whether that be, the Coarse Sponge, some ceramic media, some polyfill. Give this filter a working chance, and the housing itself is actually very large to hold a lot of media. So like I say, will be a decent filter for this, and for the price, couldn't beat it. So I hope this review helps. I know I was kind of negative in some of it, but I overall think this will be a great addition to the fish room for now. So guys, I thank you for joining me, and if you want to continue to see updates on this tank, on this filter, and what we're working on in the fish room and the new plans, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next one.